Hello everybody, Atlantean for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video. So, this time around it is 18 decks that need links. Or, as it really should be called, 18 decks that will probably be getting links, or that I think should be getting links, in the Link Frames pack coming out later this year. But that's too long of a title, so yeah, I went with this. So this video, as you guys know, recently, Konami confirmed that there were 2 archetypes in the set. I mean, there's going to be total 20 that are getting links, and 2 of them are Glad Beasts and Burning Abyss. Now, the big thing about this is that they were both decks that have been tier 1 in the past, are fan favorites, and generally sold well. Like, they moved packs, and people loved it, and Konami loved making the money. So, looking at that, and looking at how Konami said that this set would not have any anime archetypes, any anime original archetypes, I should say, because Glad Beasts did show up in Arc V eventually, but they were originally from GX and not in the anime. So Konami has pretty much set a precedent that it's going to be filled at least with tier 1 decks, or decks that are fan favorites, not from the anime, and that probably have been hurt by links to some extent. So, yeah, that's this is kind of like a prediction video, but these are 18 decks that I think will either be seen or that, well, I want to see. Because some decks are very likely, others not so much. So why 18, you might be asking? Because, well, there's 18 archetypes that we have no idea what are going to be getting in this set. So, yeah, because they already confirmed 2, and that's 2 out of 20, so, yeah, 18 remaining. Also, this is in no particular order. I didn't order them out in anything. I just put them as I came up with, as I thought about it. So, yeah. Moving on, number 18 is Ghost Tricks. So, Ghost Tricks are a big fan favorite deck. People love Ghost Tricks. I haven't met many people that don't like Ghost Tricks. I mean, I've met a bunch of people who hate going against the deck, but most people I've played, or talked to and stuff, love Ghost Tricks. Love playing it. It's just such a fun little deck, and it's been hurt by freaking links to an extent. I mean, yeah, they have like 4 or 5 different XCs monsters, but also links can't go down into face-down defense position, so yeah. And I'm still sick, so yeah, if I cough, I'm sorry. So yeah, Ghost Tricks got hurt by links to that extent, because their field spells require everything to be face down defense position, and that's their whole gimmick, is Book of Mooning stuff, and Book of Mooning themselves, Book of Mooning your opponent's stuff, and links literally cannot go into defense position. And the big thing about this is that if they got a link monster, that link monster could not only open up spots for them to summon their own XCs, but they could also have an effect that like says, oh hey, link monsters on the field are treated as being face down defense position for the effect of a Ghost Trick card. Something like that. That'd be very, very intriguing. It'd be very, very helpful. If they made it a Link 2, it wouldn't be bad. It'd be very, very easy to summon, and it'd just be great overall for the deck. Number 17, I have Chemic Critters. Yeah, this deck, honestly, I needed filler, because I couldn't think of that many high-tier big fan favorite decks that are not from the anime, because I covered most of them later on in this list, and I couldn't think of anything else. And also, personally, I really like Chemic Critters. They're a really cool and fun archetype. They aren't terrible, but they aren't the greatest thing either, and they could really do with some more support. A Link monster in particular would really help them out, because they are an Xyz focused deck. So like something that like says, oh hey, when this card is Link summoned, and it could be generic Gemini support too. It could be a Link 2 states needs like 2 Geminis, and then whenever it's Link summoned, you can summon a Gemini from your graveyard with its effects being triggered, like it has its effects. You don't have to Gemini summon it, and it could grant additional normal summons or something for Geminis. It could be very, very good, very, very helpful, and I would really like just simply to see it. Not to mention, seeing as how the XCs already bring something back, it wouldn't be too hard to summon if it was Chemic Critter specific, so it would be... Moving on, number 16, Atlanteans. So, Atlanteans are an interesting little archetype. People don't tend to play the deck itself, but mix them with other things. And, well, I personally don't think that Mermails need a Link monster. It would be interesting to see if they were to give Atlanteans a Link monster, because it could be like a Link 2 or a Link 3, because Atlanteans do have Call of the Atlanteans, and then it could have like something, oh hey, tribute 1 water monster that points to, and search out an Atlantean. That'd be kind of stupid, but then it'd trigger off their effects and stuff. And of course, if they made it generic for like waters and stuff, or sea serpents, or aquas, stuff like that, then it could be very easily summoned in mermails as well. I mean, let's be honest, even if it's not easily summoned in mermails, they would play it. Because mermails, even though they don't need it, they could use it. So, I feel like that Atlanteans, since they've been in almost every good water deck for the past, like, 5 years, if it's been 5 years since they came out, I can't remember, then, yeah, they're probably going to be the one to get Link Monsters over mermails, because, while, yes, mermails are very, very popular and everything, let's be honest, the Atlanteans are the backbone of the deck. Next up, Madoshes. People love Madoshes. Who doesn't love Madoshes? They're so cute, cuddly, and make you hungry. They're just awesome, and everybody loves Madoshes. I have not met anybody who doesn't like Madoshes. And watch somebody comment down below, oh, hey, I don't like Madoshes. Yeah, well, okay then. Anyways, Madoshes are a big fan favorite deck, and they really need some new support. I mean, yeah, they've gotten some really great support in the past, but they really need one or two more cards, especially a Link Monster, because a lot of their combos require going into multiple XCs, and you can't really do that when, well, you are locked down to one XC's monster. Now, granted, yes, because the deck is Earth attribute, you can make Mrs. Radiant, but Mrs. Radiant's not exactly helpful for the deck, other than opening up zones. Doesn't help advance your game state and stuff. So, a Madoshe Link Monster could be very beneficial to the deck, and very helpful. And who knows, maybe we'll finally get the king, because people have been wanting King Madoshe for, like, forever. Because we got the queen, we got the princess, we don't have the king. So, yeah, where's the king? Bring out the king. Let him be a Link Monster. That'd be cool. Make him have something really simple, too. Like, maybe, once per turn you can target any number of Madoshe cards in your graveyard, up to the number of monsters he's pointing to. Return those into the grave, from your grave to the deck, and then target that many cards on the field, return them to the hand or something. Like, it doesn't have to be super amazing, but if it does anything like that that helps out, it'd be really nice. Then we got Zephyrus. Zephyra being the archetype that focuses on doing everything, because they're Ritual, Synchro, Fusion, Xyz, and Pendulum, obviously. I feel like they could really use a Link Monster. Pendulums in general just really need Link Monsters, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't put any of the big Pendulum decks on here, because I felt like they'd be way too obvious. But I did want to put Zephyr on here because they do focus on doing everything. So, yeah, Zephyrus, they need a Link Monster. It would really help out the deck. Make it a Link 3 because they have Pendulums. They can just, you know, easily spam out the board for a Link 3. And it'd be very helpful and beneficiary to the deck. And heck, how cool would it be if we got a retrain of Oracle Zephyrus that also gave a effect for Link Monsters? I don't know. Anyways, next up we got Shiranui. Shiranui are pretty popular zombie deck to an extent. People like to use it as more of an engine for other zombie decks. But Shiranui are still well liked. A lot of people like them. And heck, if it wasn't for True Draco and Zoo, Shiranui would probably be up there as like a solid tier 2 deck. Right now I'd say they're more like tier 3, but they're still a really fun deck. People like them, and they're synchro based, and hey, it's zombies, so if you made a generic zombie Link Monster with Shiranui in the name, people would be all over that, just for zombies in general. Then we got Super Quantums. I mentioned this in my Killed by Links video, but Super Quantums are in dire need of a Link Monster. They literally cannot make Great Magnus without a Link Monster. I mean, yes, they can if they let their Xyz die, but then Great Magnus is only going to have 3, maybe 4 materials, so that means he'll get all but one of his effects, and that's kind of the important effect. So, yeah, Super Quantums are in dire need of a Link Monster, and it'd be really nice if Konami were to do that, because this deck was so heavily hurt by Links, it's not even funny. Next up, we got Lavals. Lavals are were a pretty popular deck for going into Quasar and just all the other variants of Quasar, Cipher, and Cosmic Blazar. So, seeing as how Lavals are pretty popular, or at least were pretty popular, they've died out as of late because, well, Rekindling got hit to 1, and, well, Links came out. I feel like Lavals getting a Link Monster would really help out the deck, that you actually probably make Quasar in this format, well, in this era, I should say, and it would just be really helpful for the deck in general. That or freaking Rekindling going to 2 or 3 again. Next up, we got Sylvans. I remember Sylvans got a lot of hype back in the day, and Sylvans are still, well, a commonly seen deck. I've ran into quite a few in the past few weeks just playing on YgoPro, and Sylvans are not a bad deck. They're an Xyz focused deck. They really need some more support. And I feel like a Link Monster that like maybe lets them search out stuff or maybe lets you stack the deck a bit easier would really help out the deck. And also, of course, they have, what, 2-3 Link Monsters? I mean, Xyz monsters, so getting having a Link Monster to open up those zones for their Xyz would really help out the deck and allow for more OTKs and stuff with the deck. Number 9, okay, anybody who's like talked to me recently probably knew I was going to put this here. And also I did do a video talking about them. Scraps, I love scraps. Scraps are fun. Scraps are awesome. I haven't met anybody who doesn't like scraps. Scraps need a Link Monster, though. I mean, they don't really need one because Mrs. Radiant helps out. But if they got a Link Monster, it'd be so good. Like, I don't even care what it does. As long as it has scrap in the name, it has some sort of effect to destroy your stuff, and has at least 2 pointers pointing down, it'd be golden. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it could be, like, 3-Vine Scrap Dragon. I don't know. Something interesting. A 4-headed version of Scrap Dragon. Something. Anything for the deck would be really, really nice. God. Next up, I got Violins on here. This is a personal pick. I love Violins. I've always loved Violins. I'm probably the one person in the world who likes Violins. I like them mostly because of Omega, and Omega is just such a stupid card. But also, I feel like the Violins, if they were to get a Link Monster, it would really help out the deck. Partly because it wouldn't be too hard to summon in the deck, thanks to the Phylon combo to just infinitely summon out monsters, so that'd be really, really nice. But yeah, that's just one of my personal picks. I would love to see a Phylon Link Monster. Next up, we got Evil Swarms. Evil Swarms were kind of sort of hit by links. I mean, typically you just make one Ophion, set on him, and just laugh as your opponent can't do anything. Granted, it's not as clear-cut as that anymore, but that's the general idea with the deck. And but however, they could really use a Link Monster because at the end of the day, they are technically an XYZ spam deck, even though you typically only make one and then just kind of back them up with a bunch of other monsters. But hey, with a Link Monster, you can now make double Ophion again, or even triple, depending on if it's a Link 3 or 2. And then you can also make Bahamut and the other really good Evil Storm Xyz monsters, along with your Ophion, rather than just having to rely solely on one Ophion. And also, an Evil Storm Link Monster could easily fix some of the issues with the deck, like for instance giving it more staying power, more search power, something that just makes the deck a bit better. Next up is Karakuri. Karakuri are an interesting deck. I've seen them in and out of the meta like in the past so many times. There was Karakuri Girgia, there was Karakuri Scraps, there was Karakuri, I think there was Karakuri Metal Foe for a while. Karakuri are one of those most annoying decks because they just keep coming back and they don't seem to want to die. And I feel like that because of the popularity of the deck and all that, Konami might give them a Link Monster. Heck, even if it was just generic for machines and stuff, it'd be great because then a bunch of other machine decks could use it. But yeah, Karakuri Link Monster maybe like switches stuff to defense position, so you can do more stuff. Or if a Karakuri goes to defense, you can summon a Karakuri from graveyard. Something like that would be really cool. And then we got Noble Knights. Noble Knights are pretty... let's be honest, they were a failed project by Konami TCG. But people still really like Noble Knights. I mean, like, it's one of those decks that people love, but, like, they can't, like, fully... What's the word I'm looking for? It's one of those decks that people love and they love to hate. Because people who hate it because it's a failed project. They tried so hard to make this deck good. And honestly, it's not half bad, but it's not like the best thing in the world like Konami was trying to hype it up to be. Like, holy crap, Noble Knights, every single release, high rarity, high rarity, high rarity, secret, secret, secret. And they just kind of flopped on their face at every single time. A Link Monster could definitely help out Noble Knights. It could have something as simple as just being able to grab an equipped card from deck. It could have something as simple as getting out a Noble Knight from your graveyard or from your hand or something. It could just be anything. So long as it did something, it would be really, really nice. Granted, Noble Knights still need a search card, end of story, but a Link Monster would be really helpful. It would be a right track in the direction, and who knows, maybe if it had a searching effect, it'd be... exactly what they needed. Then we got Stellar Knights, or Satellar Knights, whatever you want to call them. Satellar Knights saw a lot of play back in the day in Duelist Alliance. I remember no one thought this deck was good initially. And then it topped the regional over the weekend after Duelist Alliance came out, and then people just swarmed to the deck. And then ever since then, up until a while back, the deck was pretty recurring in the meta. Like, people would just occasionally play it, and hey, you could top a regional with it pretty commonly. It was a really good deck. It still kind of is. It really, really needs a Link Monster, though, because getting multiple Xyz out is not easy anymore, because, hey, you can't, because you gotta have a Link. And a Link Monster for the deck would really, really help them out in doing that. But yeah. And also, I feel like they need their own specific one because, well, Altair says, hey, you can't attack except as Satellar Knights. So yeah, that'd be really helpful. And I think, didn't it have some other like restrictions, like you had to summon a Satellar Knight? I can't remember. Next up, we got Lightsworns. Now, personally, I don't think Lightsworns need a Link Monster, but following the trend of Burning Abyss and Gladbeast being two really powerful decks from the past that were tier 1 for a long time, that are beloved by fans, Konami's probably going to give Lightsworns a Link Monster. It wouldn't surprise me one bit at all if we saw like a linked version of Minerva, or a linked version of Michael, or heck, even a linked version of Judgment Dragon. It just would not surprise me one bit if it happens, and honestly, I'm kind of expecting it to happen. Next up, we got Constellars. Constellars were another hyped-up deck from Hidden Arsenal 7 alongside Evil Swarm. Granted, more people were looking at Evil Swarm as the better deck, but Constellars still saw a lot of competitive play for a long time, and they really, really relied on making multiple Pleiades and multiple Xyz in general. So being able to not do that anymore, having a Link Monster would really help them out. Now then, I forgot to put the slide here, but anyways, honorable mentions include Dynamists, Ignite, Draco Slayers, the Pendulum versions, Amorphage, all that stuff. The only reason why I didn't put them on here is because aside from Luster Pendulum and his little mini thing, and Ignister, none of them saw a lot of competitive play. And also, if I were to put them on here, they'd take up like half the list with all the Pendulum decks that need support, that need a Link Monster. So I decided to just kind of like not put them on here just because they would take up so much space. And then finally, for number 1, I chose X-Sabers. X-Sabers are a big fan favorite deck. A lot of people love the deck, and it just churns out synchro after synchro after synchro after synchro. They could really, really use a Link Monster for this reasoning. And not only that, but also making Link Monsters for the deck is not really all that difficult. Well, I'd say in the deck, not for the deck. But, because Link Monsters are basically an easier summon Synchro Summon, and all you need to do is make your Links along with your X-Sabers Synchros. And heck, if they got a Link 3, that'd be perfect. Something that points all 3 down. Hey, you can summon out your Golems, your Hyunye, and your other stuff. Really easy. I would really, really, really like to see them get a Link Monster. Not only that, but also it fits the criteria. They were tier 1 for a bit. They were meta. They were very, very imposing. And people absolutely love this deck. And if X-Sabers got more support, then it would be great. Now then, guys, that is it for the video. I am going to try and make I'm probably going to make a top 20 or so decks from the anime that need a Link Monster. Obviously, I couldn't put them in here because, well, you can't have it from the anime because, well, the pack has specifically said that, hey, it's not going to have anything from the anime. So, yeah, it'll be very intriguing to see what Konami does for anime stuff later on. But, however, for now, this is what I think I would like to see and what I think might happen. So, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out and goodbye. Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 Patreons so far. To my 2 wonderful, wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly, incredibly awesome. And it just, I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both. And I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.